I'd like to tell you about a car. It's an electric vehicle driven by AC motors, powered by lithium-ion batteries. Its energy efficiency is 135 watt-hours per kilometer, and its chassis is built by Lotus Cars. Nice, huh? Now let me show you an image of that same car. This is the Tesla Roadster. That reaction you have to the image of the Tesla Roadster is your aesthetic response, your response to the aesthetics of that artifact. Your aesthetic response is a response to sensory information, usually visual. Usually it comes in through your eyes in the form of an image. It's involuntary. You don't have direct control over your response of either attraction or revulsion. And it's immediate. It usually happens in seconds or fractions of a second rather than over hours, days, or weeks. Why do aesthetics matter in design? Well, the first reason is somewhat self-evident. We as humans value things that are beautiful, essentially by definition. So here's an example of the Noguchi coffee table, which was designed by Noguchi for Herman Miller in 1947. I have this coffee table in my home. Every time I use it, I'm happy about the experience. It makes me happy. And so in that sense, the aesthetic response is part of closing the gap. It's part of delivering value to the users of the artifacts that we design. The second reason that aesthetic responses are important, or that aesthetics are important in design, is that first impressions matter, especially in a commercial context. When you're trying to get a user to be attracted to an object or an artifact that you've designed, they form a first impression based on what comes in by the sensory system, usually by what they see. And those first impressions can be quite sticky and hard to change over time. So here's an example of the S2 framing hammer designed by Atom Design for Vaughan and Bushnell, a tool company. This is a tool that's quite interesting to look at immediately, and it forms a positive impression. Now, I might then go on to spend some time learning about the hammer. I might even try it out. But because I got an initially positive reaction to the aesthetics, I'm more likely to like the product on further examination. The third reason that aesthetics are important in design is that the aesthetics of an artifact are a signal to the user of the other unobservable attributes of the artifact. So let me just give you an example. There are two convenience stores in my neighborhood in Philadelphia. This is the first one. It's called Second Street Wholesale. I've actually never been in Second Street Wholesale because every time I see the sign out on the front of the store, I think, if they have a sign like that, I'm guessing the rest of the store isn't too interesting. Across the street from Second Street Wholesale is Mulberry Market. Now look at the Mulberry Market sign. I love going in this store because I look at that sign and I think, anyone who has such an elegant and attractive graphic for their sign on their store must have a pretty good store. Now, I'm sure, in fact, I think it's likely that the owners of both of these stores probably didn't design those signs. They probably acquired them as the stores were changed hands over, maybe even over several generations. And so it may be that, in fact, the Second Street Wholesale is the better store. But the sign itself, the design of the sign itself, and the aesthetic experience that I have when I'm looking at that sign is a signal to me of what the other attributes of the product are, in this case the store, and are critically important in how I make a decision as a user about where I'm going to go.